What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Cobra Cast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage of the 199. And yes, the title is the title. I see a lot of people crying about clickbait. Listen, not your echo chamber. So, no, it's not clickbait. It's the truth. And the truth hurts. But the Trump administration is screwing up this entire Epstein situation. Look at all these motherfuckers right here standing around with a folder that says the Epstein files like it's Christmas fucking day. We're talking about child predators. We're talking about people that are in the real world right now that harmed children, and they're treating it like a fucking weekly television show release. This is bullshit. So, this is a group of influencers that the Trump administration has decided to give the files to so they can stand around and smile like a bunch of idiots. Meanwhile, the rest of us are sitting here going, can we get the names? Can we understand who's involved? I think we kind of need to know. I think we should have already known. And the fact that they're treating it like this is ridiculous. On top of that, Anna Paulina Luna said I nor the task force were given or reviewed the Epstein documents being released today. A New York Post story just revealed that the documents will simply be Epstein's phone book. This is not what we or the American people asked for, and a complete disappointment. Get us the information we asked for. This is absolutely insane. So we're just going to get his fucking phone book. That's all we're going to get right now. And then they're going to, again, if you remember, famously on Friday Night Tights, I argued for the binge model release because I feel that giving people the option is the best way. If you like the weekly model, you can still watch it weekly with the binge model. Give everybody the fucking binge model on the Epstein files. I don't want a weekly fucking release where you can drag this shit out and turn it into a shit show. I want the binge model. Release that shit all together right now. Again, there are powerful people right now walking around that are more than likely on that Epstein list right now. The people voted for transparency, and the people want to know those names. This is not a fucking game. This is serious. Pam Bondi said it last night. Pam Bondi said, it's disgusting. It's horrible what's on this list. What's her name? Alina Habba. Alina Habba today was she on today or yesterday with Piers Morgan? Alina Habba talked about how disgusting the list is. Well, if it's so disgusting, then why don't you just release it for everyone? I don't like this at all. This is not good. And the Trump administration needs to be held 100% accountable. Right here. Listen to this. Listen to Alina Habba talk about this right here.
Jeffrey Epstein files, we're told, are to be imminently unleashed. And already we saw the Attorney General Pam Bondi say that it's the scale of what happened is far worse than anyone realized. Well over 200, maybe 250 victims, and that we're going to get information either later today or tomorrow from these files. What can you tell me about that?
I believe it will be today. I was just with, I saw Pam and Cash in the White House just before coming on your show. And I can tell you that I haven't been privy to it yet, but I know it is coming out. They will be taking portions of it. We have to be patient. And I said this last night at a dinner with some media. And I said, I think America needs to remember one thing. We are going to be promises made, promises kept. But when you're dealing with victims, and by the way, this is a perfect example of a case that was vetted, that went through trial, that had testimony, and was prosecuted the right way. I don't preemptively attack. That's just not the way I operate. But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not.
So again, I'm just saying, like, listen to the language. We know that it's bad. And all I'm saying is don't treat it like a television show. This is real life. This is real stuff. This is the worst of the worst. It shouldn't be treated like a show. It's real life. That's my problem right now. Optically, they are screwing this up.
Not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway. We don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
And we know that only one.
Now, really quick, because I just saw this. So one of the people that received the binder today was Jack Posobiec, who you could say what you want about Jack Posobiec. Jack Posobiec has always been Trump, Team Trump, 100%. He's always been there. Cernovich has not been. But from my understanding, Jack Posobiec has always been a loyal Trump supporter. So I give him credit for that. Jack Posobiec, who received the Epstein Phase 1 binder, just revealed on his show that he has not gone through the Epstein flight logs, the entire contact sheet released today. We need to understand what is new and what has already been released. This is Phase 1. They're setting the stage for everyone. It's not a TV show. This is full transparency. This is how it works. These cases involve victims of some of the most heinous and disgusting crimes known to man. They're setting the stage for everyone. The stage was set. The stage was set on January 6th, 2021. Okay? We've been through this. We don't need kid gloves anymore. We need you to release this shit to the public so we know what's going on. It's that simple. This is not complicated at all.
One person so far has actually gone to prison over that
heinous.
whole
I'll
scandal.
fuck it. Whatever. I'm from Alabama. If you're looking for good spelling and good pronunciation, go watch Tim Pool.
So far has actually been put in prison as a result of what happened. Do you think by releasing information from these files, we are likely to see criminal actions being taken?
Absolutely.
Really?
I think it would be negligent for us not to. You have to hold individuals who are indeed rapists accountable. We have to have them tried, in my opinion. And I do believe in that. You know, nobody should be just dismissed. You have to have your time in court and your case will be heard. But to hide lists, to protect political friends, all of that, we don't have time for that.
Well, no, we don't have time for that. And I agree with Alina Habba, who has a great personality, by the way. I fully support her and her personality. As I support Anna Paulina Luna, and I retweeted her tweet here because she says, I nor the task force were given or reviewed the Epstein documents being released today. A New York Post story just revealed that the documents will simply be Epstein's phone book. This is not what the American people asked for, and I agree with that. So I said Team Trump is screwing this up really badly. I'm glad a few people are actually calling them out. Again, I'm a huge supporter of Donald Trump. I love what this administration is doing. I will continue to support them, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to call balls and strikes. And right now, the way this Epstein thing has been handled has been terrible. They have fumbled this thing terribly. And as it stands right now, when you see a bunch of influencers just walking out like they just received a fucking Christmas present, this is supposed to be a log full of the most evil people in the world. And you guys are standing around smiling like you just got a Nintendo 64 for Christmas back in the 90s. What are we doing? What are we doing? That is what bothers me. Hey guys, I got this. Look, I got a Nintendo 64, guys. What? You're literally holding what is presumed to be, and I don't know if this particular phase 1, which again, like, why don't you just go ahead, call it, go Disney Star Wars and just go, hey, the pedophile files and Epstein story part 1. Like, why don't you just go ahead and release it that way? Go ahead and put a Hollywood spin on the whole thing, because it's absolutely ridiculous. This is nonsense, dude. This is absolute nonsense. Release the names of the people involved. It's not complicated. We don't need to know the victims. We don't need to know any of that stuff, but we need to know who the people are. This is what the American people wanted. All right? That's it. That's right. Of course, I brought it back to games. Always do, always will. But this is like, you seen that kid on Christmas Day holding his Nintendo 64? I can't remember. Like, that's what they look like right now. N64 Christmas kid. Like, that's what these influencers are doing right here. They're like, oh my God, look, I got an N6. Yeah, here it is right here. Let me see if I can open this. Yeah, this is essentially what all of these influencers are doing right here. Look at that. Yeah, I got the Epstein files, guys, and I can post on social media. Yeah, guys, look at me. All right, I got the Epstein files. Yeah. That's what they're doing right there. Hey. It's ridiculous. Just let the people know. By the way, Cernovich was a DeSantis clown. He was thinking, Cernovich was like, oh, Trump needs to get out of this. Trump is too old. Trump is washed up. MAGA is not influential anymore. That's what Cernovich was saying back in 2023. And now he gets to get the Epstein files. Again, if anything, you guys know that I'm not like me and Jack Posobiec. He blocked me because I ratioed him over his terrible take on the Tulsa King. But at least Jack Posobiec has been MAGA through and through from what I've seen. And so I don't know who Liz Wheeler is. Some people were saying something about her. I don't really know who she is. I know she's like a Fox News host or something like that. I have no idea if she's a dedicated Trump supporter or not. Let's see right here. More. Posobiec says the contact sheet released today could be similar to the other contact sheets already seen or already released in the past. So today seems like it's going to be a nothing burger. That's what today seems like so far. Whatever information we're going to get, it doesn't seem like it's going to be anything significant today. You guys are telling me about Benny Johnson's tweet. I'm going to Benny's Twitter right now. Attorney General Pam Bondi reveals in a letter to the FBI, Director Kash Patel, that the FBI is withholding Epstein documents from her. Really? Look at that. I don't know if let me open this in a new tab. Okay, so it says, Dear Director Patel, before you came into office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims' names and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request, and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated request, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn this new information. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings, materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients. Regardless of how information was obtained, there will be no withholding or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of the victims in accordance with the law. As I have done my entire career as a prosecutor. Whew. But again, why are you releasing files and documents in folders to influencers in phase 1? None of this makes sense. I don't like this. This is terrible. We should have never. This is a fucking joke right here. This is a mockery of the Epstein situation. This is a mockery of it. Why are you happy to hold a fucking file full of pedophile behavior and hundreds of victims? Why does that make you happy? Why are you fucking smiling? The optics are fucking terrible. This is not something to be happy about. It's absolutely disgusting. It pisses me off. I see a lot of people dropping like certain names you think are going to be on the Epstein list. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Hey, guys. Hey, guys, look. Again, I'll go back to it right here. Same energy right here. I got the N64, guys. Look at me, guys. Same energy. Man, this is not something to be happy about. This is not something to be bragging about. It's not something to get social media traction over. This is something that the American people voted for, and the American people should be getting transparently, period. Now, in terms of this email from Attorney General Pam Bondi to FBI Director Kash Patel, I love this. I love that we're getting this information. And I love that they're showing this to us. I'm wondering why you didn't just go ahead and deliver this to your favorite influencers too, and they can hold that up and pretend that they got an N64 for Christmas as well. Why didn't you go ahead and do that? Why did the American people get the transparency of this email, but we can't have the transparency of whatever's in those documents in those folders? Why is that? Explain that one to me. So just release the list. Not complicated at all. So again, for the people that are tuning in, I will play what Alina Habba said one more time for all of you.
Jeffrey Epstein files, we're told, are to be imminently unleashed. And already we saw the Attorney General Pam Bondi say that the scale of what happened is far worse than anyone realized. Well over 200, maybe 250 victims. And that we're going to get information either later today or tomorrow from these files. What can you tell me about that?
I believe it will be today. I was just with, I saw Pam and Cash in the White House just before coming on your show. And I can tell you that I haven't been privy to it yet, but I know it is coming out. They will be taking portions of it. We have to be patient. And I said this last night at a dinner with some media. And I said, I think America needs to remember one thing. We are going to be promises made, promises kept. But when you're dealing with victims, and by the way, this is a perfect example of a case that was vetted, that went through trial, that had testimony, and was prosecuted the right way. And I don't preemptively attack. That's just not the way I operate. But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names, that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden.
Real quick, I've got this for you. The New York Post reports that the first batch of Epstein files released today are likely to be a disappointment, as the scope is merely Jeffrey Epstein's address book, not island visitors or plane passengers. What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we getting anything if we're not getting everything? This is so bad. This is so incredibly bad.
And kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
And we know that only one person so far has actually gone to prison over that whole scandal. It was Ghislaine Maxwell, the former lover of Jeffrey Epstein. No man so far has actually been put in prison as a result of what happened. Do you think by releasing information from these files, we are likely to see criminal actions being taken?
Absolutely.
Really?
I think it would be negligent for us not to. You have to hold individuals who are indeed rapists accountable. We have to have them tried, in my opinion. And I do believe in that. You know, nobody should be just dismissed. You have to have your time in court and your case will be heard. But to hide lists, to protect political friends, all of that, we don't have time for that.
Okay, so I know I'm not going to change the subject too much, but I just saw this story. So I'm sure many of you know that legendary actor Gene Hackman was found dead with his wife and dog. Gene Hackman was 95 years old. So he was found dead, his wife and his dog all dead in their New Mexico home. Now, there was a lot of speculation and people were thinking it might have been carbon monoxide poisoning or something like that. Search warrant in the deaths of Gene Hackman, wife and dog reveals no signs of carbon monoxide poisoning. The gas company found no issues with the gas lines. Police still believe there's no foul play suspected. There has to be foul play suspected. There has to be. Gene Hackman was 95 years old. But his wife was like in her 60s and the dog dead. There's got to be some foul play. Now, I at first thought that there was I thought it was going to be carbon monoxide poisoning or a gas leak. That was what I felt it was going to be with all three of them dead. Now that it's confirmed that there was none of that, now that's going to be, this is weird. Very, very weird. Now, Team Trump is getting called out big time. Here's Laura Loomer. Gee, thank God a sports reporter was given first access to the Epstein files at the White House today. Glad we have to get the files from a sports reporter. Aren't you glad you have to wait for a sports reporter in a MAGA hat to dig into the files for you? Unreal. This is what I've been saying, dude. This is why I'm a huge Trump supporter. I'm a huge MAGA supporter. I don't want to be part of this group of people that just because you're putting a MAGA hat on, you get acceptance.
I saw y'all on the internet coming from Kash Patel saying he's day 5 and we haven't gotten the Epstein files. Well, I'm here outside the West Wing and look at what we got today. The Epstein files, baby. Let's make America safe again.
What are we doing? This is so bad. This is horrible. What the hell are we doing? I am astonished at how bad these optics are right now. Jeez. So again, just so everybody's understanding, now again, if you take out the influencer portion of this, I'm not that upset. It's the fact that they're treating it like a joke. That's what bothers me. These influencers should not be getting any of this information. They just shouldn't. But listen, here we go. So, Attorney General Pam Bondi is launching an investigation after the FBI field office in New York allegedly withheld thousands of Epstein documents. Bondi says a source has come forward claiming the field office has thousands of pages of docs. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request, and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI had never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn this new information. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. And of course, yeah, I agree with Eric right here. Pam Bondi should hold a press conference. This is absolute insanity. Let the people know what's happening. I agree. And if anybody sees if anything's happening, please let me know, because I will definitely cover. I mean, she needs to go live right now. She needs to hold a press conference right now, and deal with this, because let me see. I got that. So yeah, this Liz Wheeler chick, apparently people are mad about that. So right here, every word in the Epstein Phase 1 binder given to influencers at the White House will be public today. Look at them. It's like a joke. It's like a social gathering for a bunch of influencers that want social media attention. This will go down. All of these people that are standing there smiling, this will stain their entire career. Like, this is horrible. This is terrible. Mods, if they're spammers, you guys know you can take care of them, so don't worry about that. Just can't spam. We don't care. You can come in here and talk shit and say whatever you want, but you can't spam. So, but you can spam super chats. That's the one thing we'll allow you to do, is spam super chats. So that is allowed. That is allowed. And as I said, this tweet from Anna Paulina Luna was very, very damning. I nor the task force were given or reviewed the Epstein documents being released today. A New York Post story just revealed that the documents will simply be Epstein's phone book. This is not what we or the American people asked for, and it's a complete disappointment. Get us the information we asked for. Not good at all. And I retweeted, says Team Trump is screwing this up bad. I'm glad a few people are actually calling them out. Now, of course, John here says you just like her personality. Guilty as charged. Okay, guilty as charged. But that the point still stands that what she's saying is absolutely accurate. Where's that one? Let me see. And I showed you guys this one earlier. This is the biggest disappointment right here. If I can find it. This is like, this puts it into perspective right here. So this is 20 minutes ago. The New York Post reports that the first batch of Epstein files released today are likely to be a disappointment, as the scope is merely Jeffrey Epstein's address book, not island visitors or plane passengers. So I don't have a problem with the fact that they don't have all the information. I want to be clear about that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with them having to take more time to get all of this, because I'm sure there was a lot of corruption and a lot of cover up. I have a problem with this right here. I have a problem with the optics of a bunch of social media influencers walking around with the Epstein file folder, all smiles, like it's a fucking game show, like they were just on The Price is Right and Bob Barker just handed them a new car. That's what I have a problem with. These people should have never been given this information if it's not any legitimate information, and there's still a lot of information that they need to find out and figure out what's going on. Insane. Look at this. Look at this. Laura Loomer says there are no Epstein files. The binders are props. Every single one of those right-wing paid influencers lied to all of you today. They engaged in deception to run cover for you-know-whats. They posted selfies with prop binders. Liars and deceivers. Oof. If that's true, if that's the case, then holy crap. Oof. Why? Why did you do this? Why? Holy crap. If that's true, and I know Laura Loomer is hit or miss. I like Laura Loomer. I like her passion. She's a firecracker. So let me see. I'm looking to see if there's anybody else talking about that. If those binders are just props, that is bad. That is really bad. See what some of these people are saying right now. That will be hilarious if they're just out there just holding props up to get pictures and show how important they are. And as I said right here, let me find it. So earlier I said just release the fucking list, let the people see it for ourselves. Stuff like this is why I have not applied for the White House press credentials. I don't care to be part of this group of people. A lot of them were against Trump in 2023. That's exactly why. Like, I know everybody's like, Jeremy, you should apply for the White House press credentials. I don't want to hang out with any of these people. I don't want to hang out with these MAGA influencers. I do know some of them, but like, a lot of them I don't know, and a lot of them I feel are phony and frauds, and all they want is to have the perception that they're cool and they can go to the White House or they can go to Mar-a-Lago and they can take selfies and look like they're in the cool crowd. I don't want to be that. I just don't. And I mean, look what I'm doing today. If I did, like, do you think Team Trump wants me there? With all the shit I'm saying about him right now? Obviously, I'm a huge Trump supporter. A lot of my haters say that I never criticize Trump, which is the most nonsensical thing ever. I criticize Trump when I think he's wrong. I don't think he's wrong a lot, but he does have mistakes, because this is a spoiler alert for the people that hate Trump, not for the fans of Trump. This is a spoiler alert for the people that hate Trump. And I don't want to upset you that much, people, okay? But for the people that hate Trump, spoilers. He's a human being. I know you think he's a mythical creature. I know you think that he is some amazing, like, creature that was created in a lab. He's just a human being. It's a big spoiler for a lot of you people that hate Trump. I get it. He's just a human being, and every now and then he does make mistakes that his supporters don't agree with. It's a shocker. I know. It's a shocker. Caleb says, you think he is your king. Caleb, I say that because it triggers girls like you. Caleb, King Trump for the win. What the fuck are you going to do about it? You going to downvote my video now, Caleb? Is that what you're going to do? Ooh, hey, if you press the downvote harder, it might actually work this time, okay? I say it to trigger losers like you. King Trump for the win. And by the way, maybe he is something more. Maybe he's not just a regular human being. He's a young, vibrant man.
I just feel like a young man. I'm so young. I can't believe it. I'm the youngest person. I am a young, vibrant man. I look at Joe. I don't know about him. I don't know.
Macho man, yeah.
There we go. King Trump. So there you go. Anyway, back to the point at hand. As it stands right now, I think everybody needs to just prepare for disappointment in the very near future on this Epstein stuff, because it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good at all. And it doesn't, like, you got to remind me on this, chat. I asked you this last time. When Trump was asked about the Epstein stuff, he definitely followed through and said he would release all of it. I don't remember this being a prominent part of his campaigns, of him going up there and him saying, this is my priority, this is my priority, this is my priority, this is my priority. I don't recall the Epstein thing being part of Trump's typical rally promises over and over again. That's the context that people need to understand through this. Trump has a lot on his plate right now, and he is putting out a lot of fires, and he's handling a lot of business. I personally don't think that this particular thing is on his agenda, personal agenda right now, but his team is doing a terrible job. And I think he needs to be made aware of how optically bad this is. And he needs to probably step in and get involved because his team is fumbling big time. This is why I said Team Trump. I said Team Trump in my tweet. I said Team Trump in the title of this video. And Team Trump is really screwing this up big time. So let me see. I see we've got a ton of people here, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the super chats and all of the support. We got $100 MAGA red super chat from Darren for $100. Let's see. The people gallivanting around are the ones that ruin anything positive within the movement. They exploit every situation for personal gain. You are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. And that's why I've always felt that way about that group of people, because, again, let me remind you. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it. Let's see. So if you remember, you had this guy right here. Here we go. Yeah, this is one of the guys at the White House who got to take the photo op. This guy right here.
Look, wear a mask. I wear a mask. Not because I'm afraid of coronavirus, but because I think you should be polite. People are freaking out. It's not a big deal. Just wear the fucking mask. Look.
This is the guy right here who's at the White House with his photo op and his binder right here. One more time.
Wear a mask. I wear a mask. Not because I'm afraid of coronavirus, but because I think you should be polite. People are freaking out. It's not a big deal. Just wear the fucking mask.
Wear the effing mask, says Cernovich right there. So there you go. And there he is right there, right behind Liz Wheeler. That's him. All happy with his Nintendo 64 on Christmas Day. There you go. Mac Jerry for 20 says maybe part of why Kathleen Kennedy is on her way out is because the so-called Epstein files detail Spielberg's young child fetish and his involvement with Heather O'Rourke. Is that how you say it? R.I.P. 1988. Allegedly. Release the damn files. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to overplay how much I think the Epstein files is going to show or not show. I do think that it's interesting that Bill Gates showed up to the White House very early on in Trump's second administration. Bill Gates showed up to the White House. Hey, President Trump, I'm here to help out. I'm here to show my support. I think that one's pretty interesting. The timing of that one, you know? So I don't know. Let me see. GJJ says, why not give the file to the Twitter files people? They seem to do a good job exposing the problems. I agree. Again, this should just be a transparent drop on social media. Drop it on Twitter. Drop it on True Social. Right here. So then Attorney General Pam Bondi has given the FBI until tomorrow at 8 a.m. to give her full and complete Epstein files. FBI NY office apparently withheld and disobeyed her initial order. Think about that. We have a new president, a new attorney general, a new FBI director, and this is still happening. It was never going to be easy. It runs very, very deep. Bondi has also ordered an investigation into why her initial order was not followed in the first place. I'm on board with all of this. So why are we doing this? That's my question. Why is this happening? You're making a joke of the situation by doing this. You're making an absolute joke of it. This is what bothers me more than anything. Sam Jack says, hey, D-Day Cover, will you be at the midnight release of phase 2 of the Epstein files tomorrow? That's where we're at. They're treating it like it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe or something, man. They're treating it like it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Good Lord. Now, we also had, what was this? Trying to find it. Yeah. Look at this tweet right here. This looks like a group of people excited about their new timeshare. Dude, this is going to be, this optically, this is terrible. Holy crap. Holy crap. That's amazing. The optics for this will be horrendous. Okay. There's a lot going on social media right now. There's a lot of there's a lot more stories for sure. But hey, Tony Bruno. Why does Tony Bruno follow me? That's crazy. This is embarrassing bullshit. Shame on you, DC Drano. Agreed. This is gross. Just once can Republicans take power and resist the urge to do libtard shit. I agree. This is my problem with the whole thing. Let me see where you guys are at. Budget Kaiju for 20 says, what the Orwellian, I don't know how to say that. Obfuscation is this? So buried in 100 pages list that will include Epstein's plumber, hairdresser, and local pizza shop will be the names of the actual bad guys flooding the zone. Yeah, it's a joke. And Team Trump should be like, listen, there's going to be MAGA influencers that are not going to call this out, and they are going to sit there and just say, hey, Jeremy, trust the process, trust the 5D chess. Trump knows what he's doing. I don't think Trump has any idea this is going on. This is a failure of his team right now, is what's going on. This is a failure of his team. And it's okay to call that out. It's okay. Doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're going to be, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Team Trump is the type to pull access from people that criticize him. I'm never going to find out because I'm not going to have access. The last time I went to a Trump rally, like I had people say, like, you should reach out to so-and-so, Jeremy. Why? So I can go backstage and take pictures. I'll just sit in the cheap seats with everybody else. Who fucking cares? I don't need access to make myself feel better about myself. The long clause is difference between the us. Let's see, the us and the left. Oh, why do I have that font? I got to change that font. Let me get that font out of here. That's Tuesday night's main event font. So there we go. There's between us and the left. We call out our own on their bullshit. And when they are effing up, they are fumbling this whole thing. I agree completely. JRG Projects says, this is going to destroy the momentum and the goodwill built up over the past month. If I was Trump, I would be calling for resignations. This is not a joke. It's a great responsibility. That's my stance on it too, brother. Gerald Armstrong says, this is Al Capone's vault all over again. Is Pam Bondi playing Geraldo Rivera? Geraldo, isn't he like almost 90? Geraldo doesn't look like he's 90, but I feel like Geraldo's like 90, isn't he? Am I wrong about that? Is Geraldo Rivera like 90? Let's see. Somebody's going to look it up and tell me. 81? Wow. That dude don't look 81. But I stubbed my pinky toe says they should have had a press conference with Trump and the top cabinet members come out and release all the info. That way it would have been more professional that way. I agree, but this is why I don't think Trump is involved in this. Because this is not a criticism of Trump. This is who Trump is. Trump likes to be the center of attention. Trump likes the pageantry. He likes to put some entertainment value behind it. If Trump was involved in the release of this directly, he would be at the forefront. He would walk out there. He would say the announcement. He would bring Pam Bondi up, all of that. That's what he would do. But with that said, it is still Team Trump, and he's still ultimately responsible for his cabinet. Eddie M says the Epstein files is the biggest human trafficking abuse story of all time, of our time. I hope they are not covering for certain people in domestic foreign governments, government agencies. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's the case, but none of it feels good, does it? Dark Helmet says it appears the FBI in New York is withholding files about the Epstein, and Bondi is demanding they release the rest. Reported by Tim Pool in a tweet with a photo of the letter she sent to Patel. Yeah, I just read that one earlier. CG says, I respect the need to protect the victims, but the AG stated conclusively that she had the client list on her desk. Why isn't she releasing that list? Make it make sense. If you don't have it, just say so. That is true, because Pam Bondi, what exactly did Pam Bondi say? Hang on. Pam Bondi. Let's see, because she was on Jesse Waters last night. And she was also on Sean Hannity. Let me see if I can find that clip right here. No, that was last year. That's not the clip I'm looking for. Okay, here we go.
Said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help.
So, I mean, she did answer in the best way she could, and I don't really have a problem with that answer. I have a problem with the clowns walking out with the binders today. That's what I have a problem with right there. That's my biggest issue with all of this, is that it's bad. The optics are terrible. So there you go. Everybody's roasting this, dude. Everybody's roasting this. Holy crap. Like, you got DC Drano, you got Libs of TikTok, you got, is that Cernovich? Who's the blonde chick? Liz something. There's Scott Pressler. There's this Chad somebody. There's Spasobic. There's ALX. And a bunch of other people behind him. I don't know. Why does Scott Pressler, like the comment says, why the fuck does Scott Pressler have one? Why does I like Scott Pressler. He's done great work. All right. Why does this gay dude have the Epstein list? Because he got some people to vote for Trump? Well, I got people to vote for Trump, and I'm not gay. I know the chat says I am. The fuck are we doing? This is so frustrating. So frustrating. What's up, Adrian Curry? How you doing? God, what a disaster. Whiskey Niner says, if they're doing this to play a little theater to counter the mainstream media, I can kind of see it. But if they're not, it's total bullshit from the Trump administration. No, I think this is bullshit. I don't think that they're, like, playing games with this list, I don't think is a good thing at all. John Papa Sergio says, the problem is everything is a meme these days, and unfortunately the files have become a meme too. Now you have influencers out here parading the meme around instead of taking them seriously. Agreed completely, man. Dark Meat Collins says, this is why I'm a Trump supporter and not a Republican. Boom. 100%. That is 100% my stance on it too. Old Salty Dog says, OMG, shut up, people. This is potential criminal cases. Rule number 1 of criminal cases is you do not publish what you have until you are ready to file charges. So then why the fuck are we... Old Salty Dog, do you not understand my problem? My problem is not that they have not released anything. My problem is not that they've released anything. My problem is that they are making a fucking joke of it with all of these influencers smiling and celebrating that they're holding a clipboard that says the Epstein files, and they're releasing it like it's a weekly TV show. Whiskey Niner says, this also could be sort of a fishing expedition to see who outs themselves, but this is speculation and just trying to see see their thought process. I just don't think that, I don't think it's that deep at all. I just don't. Let's see. Reperking says, I just want you to know I agree with everything you just said. This is a total mockery to the victims. Justice delayed is justice denied. I agree. Hey man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Jabuz says, what if these are props used for deception? Releasing these files is dangerous and could be a way to repeal the enemy. Let's see. There are stuff we don't know. There is stuff we don't know. Or maybe it's a taunt. I know like a lot of Trump supporters have always thought like Trump is like operating in 5D chess and all of that. If that was the case, if they were taking the Epstein files that seriously, they would have done this day one. Like it would have been a day one thing or a week one thing where they bring out this charade of like influencers holding up clipboards and all of this. We're too far into the administration for me to think they're taking it that seriously, trying to set traps for people that are literally out there right now that need to be named, that need to be exposed. I don't buy that at all. Adrian Curry says, I'd consider going to Mar-a-Lago just to observe and mock everyone kissing Trump's bunghole and Elon. I'd take 0 pictures with anyone and sit in a corner. What's up, Adrian? You've probably been invited, though, Adrian. You're a big deal. You're more famous than me. You're more famous than anybody in this chat. You're a real star. I'm just a like low tier YouTube. Like I'm very low tier YouTube. That's pretty much all I got going for me. Burnt Poet says, we've been waiting all day for this, and we're gonna keep waiting, unfortunately. CK Wind said, what's up, man? Says, just release the names, damn it. Agreed. Jason JJJ says, no new information. It's from 2007 and heavily redacted. Complete nothing burger. Jared Armstrong says, Pam Bondi lied with a straight face last night. Uper199 says, they are not releasing it because there are Republicans on the list. Guava Ball says, not buying the victim's excuse. Flight logs can be released now. This is more dirty than Jay's backside after a bathroom break. Damn. Sarah B says, phase 1. Can't wait for phase 3. Epstein Endgame. Yeah, I mean, it's just a big meme now at this point. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Burnt Poet says, they aren't happy and smiling because of what's in the files, but the fact that the files have finally been released. But I agree with your sentiment. Yeah, I mean, overall, this shouldn't be a photo op. It shouldn't. Maximus BT says, where my breed sat. Jason Platten says, I now suspect that there are Republicans on that list. Packing Proton says, wouldn't it be nice to see Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger on that list? Frog marched out indeed. American Patriot says, it's mostly redactions. What a disaster for such an easy win. Release the full list. Stop this release in parts trash. Agreed. Binge model for the win, baby. Dizek of the Dead says, conservative ink shills getting their goodie bags. And you know what's funny is another thing that happened today, too, with Con Inc. So I think this whole thing is weird, and Ron DeSantis apparently has said that I guess there was a story about the Tate brothers were coming to Florida, and DeSantis said they're not welcome here. Here we go.
Is he welcome here? What the state do? Send back to Romania or whatever?
We have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media. Clearly, the federal government has jurisdiction, whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States, and I have confidence that whether it's Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, that they will be looking at that. I do know our Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, is looking at what state hooks and jurisdiction we may have to be able to deal with this. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome with that type of conduct in the air. And I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified. I found out through the media that this was something that was happening.
So Ron DeSantis essentially says that the Tate brothers are not welcome in Florida. And I don't really understand that. If they've been convicted of something, then fine. But they've been convicted of nothing. I'm not a supporter of the Tate brothers. I'm also not a hater. A lot of people have derangement syndrome when it comes to the Tate brothers, and if you mention anything, they start screeching and crying and whining. If you hate the Tate brothers, that's fine. I'm not going to take up for them, but I don't like the precedent of you can just I'm pretty sure they are American citizens. So I don't like the fact that you're telling American citizens you're not welcome because you were accused of something that you haven't been found guilty of. You know what I mean? So they are I'm pretty sure they're U.S. citizens. I'm pretty sure they are. But either way, that story was kind of going around and getting a lot of traction. And I don't really understand the details with that at all. But it's just very interesting. So let me see. Innocent until proven guilty. I mean, that's been my look. Yeah, there's probably a lot of. I live in the state of Florida. There's probably a lot of people I don't like in the state of Florida, but we don't have the ability to say, well, I don't like you. You're not allowed in the state. Because if that was the case, I'd be cleaning the house in South Florida. Let's just say that, okay? Because I'm getting tired of going into grocery stores and I'm the only one that speaks English in there. Maybe be a little more concerned with that, DeSantis. Maybe be concerned with the fact that me, a United States citizen who lives in Florida, I go into stores in South Florida and I'm the only motherfucker that speaks English. How about fix that shit, okay? That's what I'm more concerned with. Pisses me off. Wildman says, I'm betting it's all destroyed. All the important stuff anyway. Potentially. Let's see. Death Doom says, if it's so bad, why are you streaming to get info? The fuck kind of question is that? What are you talking about? Why wouldn't I be streaming? Everybody else is streaming. Zinny Biscuit says, shit or get off the pot. The Crimson King says they screwed this up. All they are doing is posting on social media with binders and smelling their own farts. Release it to the people. Is it Yu-Gi-Oh or Yu-Gi-Oh? I never can remember. He always gets mad at me, though. Why the hell is Trump not immediately forcing the release of full Epstein files? He can do it. He has everyone he needs to do this, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I mean, the only thing is I don't think that he is even plugged into this story. I don't think that this is on his radar. Commodore Fan says pills were found spilled over all over the bathroom. OD. What is that in reference to? I don't even know what that is. William says crap like this is going to cost him the midterms. NDI says, well, at least we know Mike Zero's source. Rampage says Pam Bondi is a snake. Ben says, if I were an Epstein victim and I was watching them treat it like a joke, I would be pissed off. Agreed. Helen Hunt's forehead says the Trump administration is taking cues from Corey Feldman. Andy Plays Game says, I think Jack said they were all there for something else and they were surprised about the folders as well. Not that it makes the whole thing better. Yeah, I get it. I do get it. I mean, I personally just hold I hold the Trump administration more responsible than the influencers. I don't hold the influencers necessarily responsible. It's not a good look for them. But it's not. But it truly falls on the Trump administration for the handling of this. The Meep Kid says, I'd rather have my news from a sports reporter than any other. Hey, Jeremy, are you the same? That means you're a reliable influencer. No, I'm not. I am not reliable. Okay. I am retarded. And as long as you understand that when you watch me, as long as you understand, like, I am retarded, you're not going to be disappointed. But if you come into my stream with even moderate expectations, you're going to walk away disappointed. So lower the expectations and you will walk away more than likely satisfied with my streams. Okay. Solo Felix says, them treating this like a joke is a slap in the face. This is a typical rhino deep state behavior. Maybe Trump associates or Republicans are on that list. Jared Armstrong says, looks like those influencers outgrifted you, Jeremy. Very true. Nate G for 199. Thank you. Maximus VT says, all hail God Emperor Trump. Haas Bonaventure says they're trying to hide Epstein's Israel-Mossad ties. Sergio Garcia says, Jeremy, we need a laugh. Bring Slodo. Pippi says, Chad Prather just posted that he received a binder. Supposedly they're holding a press conference today. We shall see. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm not missing any update. If you don't refresh Twitter every 3 seconds, you're usually going to miss something. Okay. I'm looking right now. Yeah, I'm looking to see what some of these influencers are saying right now. Yes, here's DC Drano. Today I met with President VP Vance, Pam Bondi, and Director Passion at the Oval Office. They handed me there it is. Then okay, Trump directly involved then. So I'll retract my previous statement. He says President Trump was directly involved in this. So there you go. That's confirmation right there. They handed me a binder copy of the Epstein files. This is the most transparent administration in American history. The best part, this is just a start. AG Bondi confirmed there are thousands more Epstein file documents being secretly held in SDNY, and they will be delivered to the DOJ in DC by February 28th. People will be going to jail for what they've done. So Trump is 100% involved in all of this nonsense now. So there you go. Horrible Trump L. Agreed. And look at libs of TikTok there. Oh man. I'm so excited. We're so happy. So that's the confirmation right there. Today I met with President Trump, VP JD Vance, Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel in the Oval Office. So there it is right there. Bad optics. Terrible optics. Horrifically bad optics. So have you guys heard anything about a potential press conference today? Breaking. The DOJ will be posting the contents of the Epstein files phase 1 binder online later today per Fox News. Just fucking post it right now. However, what's being posted online has largely been seen in public domain prior to today. Then why are we doing this? Expect no major surprises in the release. Federal sources told Fox's David Spunt. Now we know we people are in possession of the binders have been largely quiet about the contents because there's nothing in it. There's nothing in it. It's like a Marvel show. This is bad. This influencer nonsense is terrible. Holy shit. Like Trump has done incredible stuff in his first month in office. Absolutely legendary. This is bad. This is beyond bad. The optics are terrible. And anybody saying that it's not terrible is just not wanting to call it out. It's really that simple. Is this right here? See, people are posting a lot of shit. Like, I just don't know, man. Like, I see stuff like this being posted. Bill Clinton has been named on the Epstein list. I don't think that's legit at all. Savannah Hernandez tweet. You want me to read that? Savannah Hernandez. All right, here we go. All right, let's listen to Savannah.
Hey guys, this is Savannah Hernandez in front of the White House with, yes, one of those Epstein file binders. Now, I want to clear something up immediately and state that nobody from the Trump admin gave us these binders and said, you guys are going to be the ones responsible for disseminating this information. They actually told us that there's going to be a press conference at any moment now, most likely this afternoon, in which all of the information in this binder is made available to the American public. Now, Pam this morning stated to us that some of the information in here is already public, and she doesn't really feel that any of this information is a smoking gun. The big story here is Pam writing a letter to Kash Patel asking him to investigate why the FBI has stopped the release of other portions of the Epstein files. So that is what is currently going on. And I wanted to come out as a journalist as well and state that, again, we are not responsible for deciding what does.
This is stupid. This is all so stupid.
Or does not come out. All of the information in this binder will be made public. Pam Bondi herself stated that she wants all of the Epstein files to be made public to the American people, not just to influencers or independent journalists, but that in itself has been a process. Now, one of the reasons why I have this is because the Trump admin right now is making a big push for not only transparency, but
Trump is live right now. Here we go.
So I just want to thank you, and I want to thank King Charles. Thank you very much, and we accept. I don't know if the media is going to follow us. I have a feeling they might. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm pleased to say that the bust of one of the Prime Minister's greatest predecessors, Winston Churchill, is now back in the rightful place in the Oval Office, and we're very proud of it. Our meeting today and the various breakout sessions we had were tremendously productive. Most importantly, I provided the Prime Minister with an update on our efforts to end the bloody and horrible war in Ukraine with Russia, which would never have happened if I were president. That was not going to happen. I promise you that. After 3 years of hellacious conflict, approximately 1 million Ukrainians and Russians have been senselessly killed, but the number, I believe, is much higher than that. Countless schools, hospitals, towns, and beautiful ancient churches have been absolutely obliterated. To begin the process of ending this spiral of death.
All right, I know Trump's talking right now. I do want to hear what Savannah Hernandez said to finish the thoughts on this, because this is more about the Epstein stuff, and I don't think he's going to talk about the Epstein stuff.
Pam Bondi herself
We're going to go back to it.
She wants all of the Epstein files to be made public to the American people, not just to influencers or independent journalists, but that in itself has been a process. Now, one of the reasons why I have this is because the Trump admin right now is making a big push for not only transparency, but being welcoming to independent journalists who might have been looked down on, ignored, or even censored over the last 4 years. This administration is making a big push right now to allow American people to come into the Oval Office, to come into the White House and directly talk to the president, the vice president, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, RFK Jr. about what they are going to be doing for the American people. So it's really interesting to see how this administration is handling the media and allowing independent people, American citizens, to come into the Oval Office and talk directly to highest members of the administration. So I wanted to give you guys my update on this. There will be a press conference. All of this will be made public.
All right. So yes, you really didn't say anything there. I don't know if Trump's going to say anything, but I do want to hear it because he may get asked about it.
but much of the European aid to Ukraine has been sent in the form of loans for which they expect to be paid back. And we didn't have that honor under the Biden administration. He sent money, or just sent it money after money after money, and never had any knowledge of ever seeing it back. Maybe $300 to $350 billion, but under the breakthrough agreement, very unusual, which was difficult to get, but it's really very good for Ukraine and very good for us. The American taxpayers will now effectively be reimbursed for the money and hundreds of billions of dollars poured into helping Ukraine defend itself, which by and of itself is a very worthy thing to do. We've paid far more than any other country, and with most of our support, it's been paid in military, the finest weapons anywhere in the world. This includes vast amounts of military hardware, ammunition, and various other things that we now have to start rebuilding our own stockpiles. Additionally, the minerals agreement will provide the basis for a more sustainable future relationship between the United States and Ukraine, and thus stimulate the long-term prosperity that will help the Ukrainians rebuild their country.
All right, I'm going to keep an eye on this because he's giving his speech right now. Forsky says, this is really pissing me off on her desk days ago. Packet Proton says, at first I thought there was a reaction to the fact that they got it and a message to the mainstream media that they were done, but yeah, not a good look. Freeman Die Free says, Luke Rudkowski not getting the files is an embarrassment considering he had the cojones to trespass onto the island after Epstein got whacked. Packet Proton says, supposedly it will take time to redact the victims' info and protect them. Maybe that's why it's taking so long. Again, so I just want to be clear. I don't have a problem that it's taking time. I don't care about the time that it takes. I respect that there's a process that needs to happen. I don't like the nonsensical influencer shit show that's going on. That is what's been bothering me more than anything. The Dragon Bane says they should give them to Alex Jones. He would show them to us. Force Geek says if the FBI disobeyed her initial order, shouldn't they immediately be in trouble? Why does there need to be an investigation? Agreed. Force Geek says Trump, Elon, and JD need to go to the FBI to bring it attention. Packing Proton says supposedly Hackman's wife was found mummified. Really? Mummified? New York Post. Weirder and weirder. Really? Freeman Die Free says taking bets that they've curated the release because of Mossad implicated. Ghislaine Maxwell father was literally a Mossad super spy. Yeah, Freeman Die Free. I know you're on your anti-Jew kick, and that's totally fine. I don't fucking care. There's plenty of channels out there that will listen to you. I don't care. Vault 95 says another great Gene Hackman movie is A Bridge Too Far. G&G play highlights. And just to be clear, I'm not here for your pro-Jew bullshit either. Go over to Ben Shapiro and tell him all day long how much you love Israel. I'm not here for either one of those. Ben Shapiro will listen to it all day long, and he'll tell you how Israel can protect herself until, of course, Israel needs America's help, and then he'll beg America to help him. G&G play highlights is the new MSNBC host of an IRL show, Glow commercial, coming to America. Hail the dimmest eye dots of the 199. Let's see. Sage Cage says, what's more disappointing, them fumbling this or Grum's pulling a scam on his audience, stealing their money and not delivering what he promised? The fact that you decided to bring Grums into a situation with Epstein shows how deranged you are. And that says more about your Grum's derangement syndrome than anything. We're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, and you're crying about Grums. Holy shit, how fucked up are you? Holy crap. Somebody want to cry about Ripa too? I mean, Jesus Christ. We're talking about Epstein, and you're mad over a fucking video game. Holy shit. Whew. J. David Gay Beard says, Jasmine Crockett raised my rocket straight to Uranus. Graham Potato says there is still a very powerful people in the shadows pulling the strings. Krog says, love and watch every day, but want ideas and advice. Do we ignore the photograph of Trump clutching the two girls next to Epstein? Seen that oldie? No, I don't know what what you're talking about with Trump clutching 2 girls next to Epstein. I have no idea what you're talking about. But if you want to talk about that, there is documentation that Donald Trump did know Jeffrey Epstein, and that there is documentation that once Trump learned of Jeffrey Epstein, he banned him from all of his clubs. That is on record. So if you want to talk about the past with Trump and Epstein, then talk about it with facts, not some bullshit. Jesus Christ. How stupid are you? Like, I'm not here. Like, you're welcome to be stupid, just like you're welcome to identify as a weirdo with pronouns. I don't have to justify your delusions, though. That's the line that gets drawn here. You can identify as a they, them. I don't have to refer to you as a they, them. You're welcome to be stupid. I don't have to entertain your stupidity. That's really that simple. So you probably saw some type of meme or photo, like photoshopped image that Democrats were passing around, and you just didn't do the research yet. You decided to send me money, so I would talk about it. Mac Jerry says, they look like a band that have left a record company after signing a huge contract. That is true. That is true. Jordan Hickey says, literally using rape victims to better their brand. Yep, that's it. 100%. Mr. Bentham says, Jeremy is not gay no more. Jeremy is delivered. Fear the Beardo in the chat. What's up, Beardo? Dark Meat Collins says, making jokes about kids being abused isn't okay, especially now. I agree. Mike C says, I disagree with you, Jeremy. We need to keep big booty Latinas in South Florida. Alex Stein would approve. Okay, I you know what? Yes, it was Photoshop, and that was debunked years ago, says Hail the Lord. Yeah, so again, nonsense, man, nonsense. But there was an executive order I heard about that Trump put an executive order that he was going to ban all illegal immigrants except hot chicks. And I stand by that, okay? So he's going to ban all illegals except hot chicks. I stand by that, all right? Thank you, Mr. President. We appreciate you keeping America great. Whiskey Niner says it should have been Trump, Bondi, and Miller, Cash, and Bongino at the press conference instead of a bunch of influencers. Agreed. Ghost Crusaders TV says they can't post everything because FBI New York withheld evidence from Bondi and Patel. They have to wait to get the rest of the files so they can release everything they have. And I understand this. I understand this issue. What I don't understand is why are we giving all of these stupid influencers all of these binders to walk around with and post like they like won an award or something? It doesn't make sense. Juan Guitar says, smash the like button for the working man. Hell yes. Hayden Wayne, since people are having stupid takes, of course, Eric July, the release of the Epstein files or something. Yeah, exactly, man. Like the fact that somebody decided to come in here, I'm talking about the disastrous Epstein file situation with Team Trump. And someone decides to come in here and cry about Grums. And you think that's going to help me over to your side. It's not. It only, and as I said yesterday, because somebody was crying about Grums in my comments, I thought, I'll just have him on for a live stream if that upsets you, because I am programmed to want to do the exact opposite of what you're demanding that I do. I don't care what you demand of me. I'm not here to like bend the knee to a mob of online losers that cry and whine about something. But yeah, it's so weird, man. But they're really mad because Grums has been I guess he got retweeted by Elon, and now they're really mad. They're really mad about Grums now because he got retweeted by Elon. It's literally an NPC download is what it is. Now Grums man bad because he got retweeted by Elon. Ramtack says Loomer says the binders are actually empty. Joe C says, yes, there are Republicans on the Epstein flight log to his island Supreme Court. Justice Roberts is on it. He visited several times. Allegedly. Storm Shadow says phase 2 will be a DLC they're charging per page. Bird says, Jeremy, why haven't you released your copy yet? Also, there might be time delay on release, like a video game launch. Aaron James says, Jeremy called Trump. I'm serious. He needs to hear what you're saying, unfiltered, the situation, Bondi, and now a liability to him and the administration. I don't have access to Trump. I have access to people that have access to Trump, but I personally do not. But the people that do have access to Trump, I feel the majority of them will not say what needs to be said. So let me see where we're at. Yeah, the people that like the people that are hang on, what is this? No, not that. Yeah, the people that are around Trump though, yeah, don't expect them to say anything other than, yes, sir, Trump. You're right, Trump. You're the best, Trump. Thank you, Trump. We really want you to do whatever you think is right. Here's what Luke has to say really quick. Let's listen.
Are you freaking kidding me? We were promised the Epstein client list, and all we got was an FBI cover-up. I just did a video about this on youtube.com/wearechange. Go check it out because it's infuriating. It's pissing me off, and it's been way too freaking long, as it looks like there's a larger possibility that they already deleted the files. We have James Comey's daughter in charge of the files, and us getting the truth here, the chances of it just went down significantly. Again, tune in, youtube.com/wearechange right now.
Yeah, Luke, I met Luke one time. I've talked about that before. I met Luke at, where the hell was I? Was I at the RNC? I think I was at the RNC. And I met Luke. He didn't know who I was. The Quartering introduces me to Luke. And the Quartering's like, hey, this is Jeremy D-Day Cobra. He gets more super chats than you guys at Timcast. And as soon as Quartering introduced me like that, Luke's like, hey man, how you doing? You want to come on my show? He's like, he perked up as soon as the Quartering said that shit. I was like, what the fuck, Quartering? It's funny. What's your Twitter, man? Give you a follow. He was cool. He was cool though. He was super nice. And I am glad now that everybody is roasting this binder situation right now. Everyone is. Here we go.
Friend and foe, but we've been treated very unfairly in trade at levels that nobody's really ever seen before, and especially under the Biden administration. They
Thank
really
you, chat,
took
for letting me
advantage
know.
of the
Thank you.
United States. I put massive tariffs on China during my 4 years. We had the best economy in the history of our country. Probably the best economy, maybe the best economy in the history of the world. And I used tariffs to even things up. And in particular with China, we took in hundreds of billions of dollars and we had no inflation. And it's a myth. It's a myth that's put out there by foreign countries that really don't like paying tariffs, and especially to even up. So we've been treated badly by a lot. We're using tariffs. And I find, and you just have to look at the numbers, but I find that it's not about inflation. It's about fairness. And the inflation for us has not existed. And I don't think it's going to exist. We're going to bring our car industry back. We're going to bring our chips back. We're going to bring so many things back to our country, including pharmaceuticals and drugs. And the thing that's going to get us there is tariffs. And I say often it's my favorite word in the dictionary, but I always preface that by saying now, because I got into a lot of trouble with the fake news where they say that's not good. So I say God, love, family, wife, they're all my favorite words, but tariff is about number 4 or 5 on the list. But I will tell you, it's going to make our country rich, and it's going to stop us from being a laughing stock all over the world, because we have been taken advantage of like no country has ever been taken advantage of. Thank you very much. And
look, we had a really good discussion, a productive discussion, a good discussion, as a result of which our teams are now going to be working together on an economic deal. Our teams are going to be working together on security in Ukraine. You mentioned Canada. I think you're trying to find a divide between us that doesn't exist. We're the closest of nations, and we had very good discussions today, but we didn't discuss Canada.
Thank you. Please, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yes. Thank you.
Who's Trump shutting up?
Hi, Natasha Clark from
Hi.
LBC. Mr. President, you've said you're working on a new trade deal with Britain, which we of course welcome. President Obama once said Britain was at the back of the queue for that trade deal. Where are we now? When do you think we're going to see that? And Prime Minister, the BBC has today admitted serious flaws over the recent Gaza coverage, suggestions of payments made to people linked to Hamas. Does the BBC still have your trust? Thank you.
Well, they didn't do well with President Obama. He'd never got a lot of things done, and he didn't get a trade deal done.
Never got
that
a
was
lot of things
any
done.
importance or magnitude. We've had great discussions on trade, and I think we're going to have a deal done rather quickly as it can be done. We're going to have something, I think, rather quickly. We expect to do that. Okay, please.
On the BBC, look, I've been concerned about the programme in question. The Secretary of State had a meeting with the BBC. I think it was yesterday, could have been the day before. Thank you.
Jeff, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Pardon me. Mr. President, do you support Article 5 of the NATO treaty? And are you concerned that it might be triggered if European peacekeeping forces end up in Ukraine?
I support it. I don't think we're going to have any reason for it. I think we're going to have a very successful peace, and I think it's going to be a lasting peace. And I think it's going to happen hopefully quickly. If it doesn't happen quickly, it may not happen at all. And we want it for two reasons. Number one, I want to see on a humane basis, I want to see soldiers stop getting shot, because largely it's soldiers now. Towns have been obliterated, but it's largely that. And I don't want to pay billions and billions and billions of dollars, nor does the prime minister or anybody else, on a senseless war that should have never happened. And we're going to get it taken care of. But I think it's going to be a peace that's going to be long lasting. Do you have a question for the prime minister?
Thank you. Mr. Prime Minister, you were asking the president today about a backstop for Europe if the peacekeeping force ends up in Ukraine. Did you feel like you got a satisfying answer for yourself and for Europe? And Mr. President, if you want to comment on that as well, please do.
I felt we had a very productive discussion. Obviously, as the president says, the deal has to come first. But yes, our teams are going to be talking about how we make sure that deal sticks, is lasting, and enforced. So our teams will be talking about that.
Okay. Please, Blue.
Mr. President, some experts think it could take more than a decade to mine the precious minerals from Ukraine. How much should the U.S. expect to receive, and when do you expect to see that come to fruition?
Well, we're never going to know that answer, but by our being in Ukraine and doing the exploration and also the digging and taking the rare earth, which we need in our country very badly, will be a substantial amount of work, probably about at least what we have in there, and we hope to be able to do that. You never know when it comes to that. You know, you dig and maybe things aren't there like you think they're there, but we'll be spending a lot of time there. It'll be great for Ukraine. It's like a huge economic development project, so it'll be good for both countries. Okay? Please.
Prime Minister, excuse me, Prime Minister, you've talked about putting British soldiers' boots on the ground in Ukraine in the event that President Trump succeeds with his peace deal. But can you do that without a firm assurance that America will have our back in the form of some kind of security guarantee were Putin to breach that agreement? And Mr. President, tomorrow you're seeing President Zelensky to sign this deal on minerals and energy that could be hugely important to the United States. Will you take the opportunity to apologize to him for calling him a dictator while praising Vladimir Putin, who is a dictator?
Well, Robert, let me start by saying I've been really clear
This will be good.
Today
This will
and
be good.
previously that I think that European countries, including the United Kingdom, need to step up in our own defence and security. We've been doing that in recent days. You saw the announcement we made on spending just the other day. In addition to that, I've made it clear that the United Kingdom will play its full part in ensuring that if there's a deal, and we hope there is a deal in Ukraine, that is a lasting deal that sticks, and we're obviously working with other European countries on that, France and NATO in particular. But I think I'm hosting 18 countries on Sunday to further our discussions. You heard from the President this morning that, as historically has always been the case, we have each other's backs. And today we've been talking about the deal, how that will be a lasting deal. And coming out of this, our teams will now be talking in detail about that.
And I think we're going to have a very good meeting tomorrow, 11 o'clock. And I think we're going to have a very good meeting tomorrow morning. We're going to get along really well. Okay? We have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for them. We've given them a lot of equipment and a lot of money, but they have fought very bravely, no matter how you figure it. They have really fought. Somebody has to use that equipment, and they have been very brave in that sense. Yeah, please. Go ahead.
He just ignored it.
Ceasefire deal is nearing an end this Saturday, and there's been some worry that phase 2 might never get there. Do you believe that phase 2 of the ceasefire in Gaza will come to fruition? And have you spoken to Netanyahu about it? And for the Prime Minister, this peacekeeping deal has been pushed forward by the UK and France as well. Have you been in discussions with any other European countries to join this initiative? And are you expecting Commonwealth countries to also join the effort? Thank you.
So we're working very hard in the Middle East and Gaza and all of the problems, and it's been going on for years and years and centuries and centuries. It's a tough neighborhood, but it could be a very beautiful neighborhood, and I think we're going to come up with some pretty good solutions. But phase 1 is almost complete. We've had some people that have been very seriously injured, very seriously hurt, both physically and mentally. They've come out of there very, very, and some of them in very, very bad shape. It's shocking. Many young people aren't in bad shape. Young people are strong, healthy. They don't die. People have come out dead, young people and old people. It's a rough situation, but I think we're going to make it much better. And I think that we've had a huge impact on that since we've been in just the 4 weeks. I think we've had a huge impact on Gaza, the Middle East, and we have some pretty good talks going on concerning lots of other people that are going to make it better. So we'll see what happens. Nobody really knows, but we'll see what happens. But I think we've had a very positive impact. Prime Minister?
Yeah, on the question of the European countries, yes, I've spoken to a number of countries, particularly in the last few weeks. We had a meeting in Paris last week. I've got a meeting on Sunday with 18 countries to further our discussions. Obviously, we've been talking quite intensely to our French colleagues and to NATO, but to other countries as well, because, as I say, I think it's important for European countries, including the United Kingdom, to step up and do more in the defence and security of Europe and our continent and the United Kingdom, and we'll do so. Well, we're talking to a number of other countries.
Thank you. Yes, in the red, please. Pink red, flaming red.
Is it me or her?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Quick grain. Number one is, if you're not considering the security guarantees, are you open to other forms of, for example, intelligence cooperation with Ukraine? And Mr. Prime Minister, President Trump has proposed a plan for Gaza. Does this fit into the two-state solution that the UK held for a long time? Do you see it fit into your general Middle Eastern strategy? Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're open to many things, but before I even think about that, that's almost pleasant to think about because that would mean that peace has been arrived at. We have to arrive at that peace. And, you went 3.5 years with an administration that never even really had a meeting. They didn't have a meeting on peace. And there was no prospect of peace. I think, frankly, Russia wanted to go through the whole long deal. I don't think they do anymore. I don't think they do. We had a very big impact on that whole situation. But I don't like talking about phase 2 until I get phase 1. Phase 1 is I have to make peace. And we have to get Russia to agree. We have to get Ukraine to agree. And I think we will. I think we've come a long way. I believe we're going to get it done. I wouldn't say that if I didn't think so. And I think it will be very important, very historic, and we're going to save a lot of lives.
On the question of Gaza, the last few weeks of the ceasefire have been very impactful. And for me, there are two images that I remember more than any other. The first is Emily Damari, who is British, being with her mother. You may remember she had her fingers missing after what she endured. That was an incredible moment. I'd spent a lot of time with her mother while she was held captive, and her mother went through absolute torture. The other image was thousands of Palestinians marching through rubble, trying to return to their communities and their homes. So we have to do everything we can to ensure that the ceasefire continues, so that more hostages can be returned, so that aid can be brought in that's desperately needed. We need to allow Palestinians to return and to rebuild their lives, and we must all support them in doing that. And yes, I believe that the two-state solution is ultimately the only way for a lasting peace in the region.
And think of that. She came home with her fingers and part of her hand blown off.
That's terrible.
How bad does it get? And we had others that came home in much worse shape than that.
Yeah.
It's a terrible situation. Please, yes.
Thank you. Mr. President, did our Prime Minister persuade you not to put tariffs on the UK? And if I may, Prime Minister, do you think that Vladimir Putin is a man who will keep his word? Thanks.
He tried. He was working hard, I'll tell you that. He earned whatever the hell they pay him over there. But he tried. I think there's a very good chance that in the case of these two great friendly countries, I think we could very well end up with a real trade deal where the tariffs wouldn't be necessary. We'll see. But he earned whatever they pay him. He earned today. He was working hard at lunch, and I'm very receptive to it. I think in all fairness, in all seriousness, I think we have a very good chance at arriving at a very good deal. JD and Scott and Howard, all the people are working on it, and I think we have a good chance at arriving at a deal that could be terrific, really terrific for both countries. Okay, thank you.
On the second part of the question, I think my views on Putin are pretty well rehearsed and pretty well known. My concern is that if there's a deal, and I hope there is a deal, that it must be a lasting deal, that it's not a temporary measure. And that is why I think it's really important that Putin knows that this deal, a historic deal, which I very much hope comes about, is there, and it's a lasting deal. And that we're able to deal with any inclination he has to go again or go further.
I think we'll have two deals. I think we'll have a deal on ending the war, and I think we're going to end up with a great trade deal with you. And it's an honor to be with you, and I want to thank everybody very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So there we go. Really nothing at all, which honestly, I don't think that was the place to ask Trump about it anyway. He probably would have bitten their head off if they would have tried to ask him about that, just because of the setting and the circumstances and all of that. So I do actually understand why that they didn't want to ask him about that. So that makes sense. Is that JD Vance right there? Yeah, there's JD Vance. Let's see where we're at. Dan says, not going to lie, lost a little respect for Team Trump today. I mean, look, it's a mistake, but let's not lose focus of the fact that they've had a historic first month. I mean, we've never seen anything like this before. This is definitely a mistake, but I'm not going to sit here and say I've lost any respect for the administration. But call balls and strikes, and this is definitely a mistake so far. But I'm not ready to just throw the Trump administration out over this. Nothing like that. I mean, I said it right here. Team Trump is screwing this Epstein situation up badly. 2S Strong says, working, just got here. What's the issue? It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot. Krog says, should someone like me, someone like you, us, all of us, should we ignore the image of Trump and his two kids with Jeffrey Epstein in 93? Stop smoking crack. That's what you should stop doing. All right. I walked away more disappointed the first time I met Ryan. Gerald Armstrong says Drano snitching on Trump. Beastie Man says President Trump having a press conference right now. 16 Ounce Ribeye says just tagged you on X. They did this to try and look transparent, but they did the exact opposite. Major miscalculation. Agreed. Matthew says Trump press conference right now. Burns says they put an embargo on the release like it was a video game launch. Yep. Let's see. Banning the Epstein list like this. My mom visited the White House and all I got was a stupid Epstein binder. Darth Gavel says make arrest first, then release the names. Justice is what we want. Socrates Magot says bringing up Epstein around Starmer should be fun. John Papa Sergio says this is starting to feel like Metal Gear Solid with the DARPA chief files. No Wipe 3PO. Forsky says there's a video of Trump calling out Epstein's island before he ran for president. Quartering played it earlier. What would AG Gates be doing right now? He'd probably be going scorched earth. Vice says, I demanded that you be less gay. Black Kane says this looks bad on Trump and really bad on independent journalists. Agreed. American Patriot says so many derangement syndromes in one chat. Oh yeah, a ton of Trump haters were in my chat today. Like it was bad. Which again, that's fine. Like I appreciate you watching me. We had good numbers today. Eddie Brock says, is this stream called Let's Get Jeremy Angry? If so, the weekly model is better than the binge model. Christopher Nolan and Interstellar are overrated. I already told you, calling Christopher Nolan and Interstellar overrated does not bother me. That means that you're admitting that way too many people like it. So that's a positive. It's a compliment. Like I can't call Beyonce overrated because she's just dog shit. You know, like calling Beyonce overrated would be a compliment to Beyonce. Beyonce is just I apologize to shit. I should not have. It was disrespectful of me to compare Beyonce to shit. So I apologize to shit. So shit, hopefully you'll accept my apology. That was disrespectful of me. I will never compare shit to Beyonce. So I apologize. Burns says, I swear Trump is going to be right about the release of the files and someone will ask what he thought of the SpaceX rocket. Black Tiger says, don't dare bring Grums to the chat about gaming. Krog says, damn, sorry about the shit sandwich. You got me all wrong. I don't take the harsh words personal. You rule. By the way, I made a lot of money when Trump got elected. I just have some concerns is all. It's all good, man. Listen, if you've been watching me long enough, like, you know that I talk shit and you guys talk shit back to me. That's what the chat's all about. If you say something I think is stupid, I'm going to say it. If I say something you guys think is stupid, you're going to tell me. That's how the snake pit works. So it's old school internet here. That's what we try to do, man. Just a bunch of shit talking. Old Salty Dog says, did you not listen to Savannah Hernandez? They are using new media as a middle finger to the mainstream media. They are not influencers, you fig. They are like you, new media. They are influencers. DC Drano is a paid influencer. I don't know if you know that. DC Drano was a paid social media influencer. The Quartering put him on blast over that. That's not to say you're wrong for being paid, but like he's a paid social media influencer. So he just is. Sir Paladin Thundercake says, but guys, photos of Trump with people. Yeah, I know. The Meep Kid says, are we going to ignore gay version Jeremy photo with Epstein in 69? What? Carl Anderson says, I had to step out for a moment. Did the Epstein papers turn out to be a phone book? I'm so pretty pissed off at Trump for this fiasco. If so, I'm pretty pissed off at Trump for this fiasco. They've botched it pretty bad. Stream keeps crashing. Really? Doesn't say anything bad on my end. Little Orphan Funkhauser says, Starmer, British Prime Minister, has major fig vibes. Warbeard says, Jeremy, you're underrated. Well, thank you. Tactical Dish Soap says, the influencer smiling while holding those files, it kind of reminds me of the ATF posing for pictures on the ashes of women and children in Waco. Young Stove says, so dumb, release it all, no protections, I need a smoke. CG says this whole dog and pony show isn't just stupid. It's AOC levels of stupid. If you need time to drop all the info, totally understand. Get it done. Jackie Delaney says Trump was meeting with the Prime Minister of England when they released the binders. Trump might not have known they were releasing them yet. According to DC Drano, he did. Linko Kenobi says, what's up, Jeremy in chat? This is ridiculous on how Team Trump has been treating this. Trump needs to tell all those idiots to not treat this as a game and treat it serious. RIP Gene Hackman. I will say this for everybody, because for some reason this movie flies under the radar. If you have not seen Crimson Tide with Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington, directed by the late, great Tony Scott, it is one of the greatest movies ever. And it is the best acting you will see with Gene Hackman and Denzel. When those two guys are on screen, it is magic. It is absolute magic. Best acting you'll see. Oh, it's such a great movie. Hollow Point says, how long after the list is released before people will claim Trump's name was washed off of it? Reddit will be where it starts for sure, of course. Cattle Dog says, how many times have we had to trust the process with Trump when we initially thought he was making a mistake? We don't know how it'll all play out. Chill. I disagree with that, because I'm not worried about the process of releasing the files. I'm worried about the horrible optics of handing a bunch of social media influencers a binder as a celebration when we're all sitting here waiting for the answers, and then they claim that the FBI is withholding answers. Listen, it's a terrible decision. It doesn't matter what happens from this point forward. Their actions today were a disaster. And it's okay to criticize that. It's okay to criticize the Trump administration. Michelle H says, now I got to watch Crimson Tide. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Hope says, they wouldn't have completely destroyed the evidence. They would remove the power the deep state holds over powerful people, and some would turn on them. Grant Potato says, Trump hates and despises Epstein. Enough of the BS. Yeah, exactly. I'm not even going to try to read that word. Max K says, Pam failed her first task. Fire her. USJ says, Con Inc. must have pre-ordered Epstein for early access. That's where we're at, unfortunately. Modest Rat says, hey, Jeremy, you fig. How dare you blasphemy against Trump? He is no king. He is the God Emperor. Also, your gay buddy Ryan did good on side scrollers, even with his gay lesbo haircut. Wired Robot says, this is the same strategy they did with the Twitter files. Everyone loved it back then. Also, Savannah would get it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the Twitter files being released. Again, binge model. Mod Eric says, we all know bills are on the list. Clinton and Gate and Hillary as well. Multiple FBI whistleblowers said the FBI has been destroying evidence since Trump was elected in November. Butter Biscuit says, look, I try to not be political, which is why I rarely come to CobraCast, but I think the fact that the FBI has gone rogue, which is basically treasonous, is more concerning than the influencers. The list is supposed to be updated to the FBI, but it's all still redacted. The optics look bad, but still win for Trump for cash to go into the FBI now. Treason should be the story of the day. That should be the story of the day. But unfortunately, Team Trump decided to prance out a bunch of stupid influencers with binders. So that's the story of the day now. And that's the sad reality of it. Jeremy has weekly derangement syndrome. Not really, because I'm sure enough enjoying 1923 right now, and that's a weekly model. Obviously, it would be nice if it was a binge, but 1923 is fantastic. And I'm enjoying watching that. And of course, this is the picture I keep referring to with all the influencers and how bad this looks. And it is a very, very bad look. And you just, you can't recover from this. In terms of the influencers. Yeah, Team Trump will for sure. I'm seeing if there's any updates on anything. Michael for $9.99 says, those grifters smiling with the binders are excited because they know they're about to make bank off their ex-subscribers and YouTube members only videos. Yep. 100%. Gerald Armstrong says, don't like it too much. Let's see. Don't like it too much. They're more expensive than drugs. My favorite line in Crimson Tide. Yes. Gene Hackman, baby. 877 cash now for $1. Two Penny Puppet says, this may be a terrible take, but them online influencers are now the press pool. We're the media now. I guess we could go back to CNN. No, I mean, it's at the end of the day, the whole point of we being the media now is that these clowns can sit there and hold their binders and look like fools. And people like me and many others are going to call them out and hold them accountable. That's part of it. That's part of a decentralized media, which is essentially what we have now. There is no overarching theme to it. We have our audiences, and our audiences support us because they trust us to give our honest takes on things. And that's the whole point behind it. So this changes nothing about that. You know what I mean? So I'm 100% okay with this. Let them do this and then let them get blasted. And right now they're getting blasted on social media for this behavior, as they should. And it's just a giant meme, unfortunately, now, which is where we are. Yeah, I'm seeing a ton of discussions about all of it right now. Like, that's kind of, oh my gosh. I hate to show this because it's like a lot of people haven't seen this. This is a slight change in topic for a minute. But the last picture that I know of Gene Hackman was right here. That's Gene Hackman. Look at that. Wow. That is crazy. He looks non-existent. Now, again, he was 95 years old, so he was 95. He was 95. In that picture, he was probably like 92 or 93, I think. So, yeah, I mean, he was 95 years old. I mean, it's a hell of a life, you know? A hell of a life. But yeah. So right here, Gene Hackman's wife found mummified and bloated by workers who hadn't seen couple for weeks. What? 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 That is so crazy. God, with your pop-ups, New York Post. Get your pop-ups out of my freaking way. Okay, that is wild. And they were found in their multi-million-dollar New Mexico home by maintenance workers who hadn't seen the couple in about 2 weeks. Authorities says the deaths were suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search of investigation after finding the door to the couple's home was unsecured and open. That is wild. And an open orange prescription pill bottle and pills scattered around the room where Hackman's wife and one of their German Shepherd dogs were discovered. Whoa. This is major suspicious. Deputies noted that it appeared Arakawa had obvious signs of death, body decomposition. I'm sorry. I can't fucking talk. Bloating her in the face. And this is why people have ad block right here. This is why people have ad block. It's jumping around. Anyway, point being, that was him when he was like, I think he was 93 in that picture. Gene Hackman is one of the greatest actors of all time. He's one of the, whether it's Superman, whether it's Unforgiven, whether it's Crimson Tide, the list goes on and on and on. But I heard this story and I just figured it was like a house fire or something like that. But this thing is getting very strange. So that's more of a Geeks and Gamers thing. So I'll probably cover that over on Geeks and Gamers, but that's a very weird story to say the least. So more on that as time, I guess, progresses. But the story of the day is the Epstein list. Jeremy Slodo, pretty much. The Bob that God made says, not to be that guy, but is it possible that the release of those files would disrupt relations with a certain country in the Middle East? If that was the case, then I don't buy into that, because if that was the case, they wouldn't be releasing it. So, yeah, I don't buy into that. I don't subscribe to that, but a lot of people do. And there's a lot of great YouTubers and Rumble, specifically Rumble people, that do a much better job of that. So you guys should go check them out. They will go all the way down that rabbit hole with you. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I agree with this completely. I was going to say this earlier. Quartering says, Ashley St. Clair was on that list to get the Epstein files up until about last week. I 100% agree with that. Ashley St. Clair would have been there with those influencers with her MAGA hat on, and she would have been promoting it and celebrating that 100%. She would have been there. You know it. That's your typical MAGA influencer. That's your typical MAGA influencer right there. Let me see. Oof. Like, look at this. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, didn't we make a joke of like them having trans influencers out there on the White House dancing around acting fools? Didn't we call out the Biden administration for making a mockery of the situation in the White House? Well, the same applies to the Trump administration. Don't make a mockery of this. Don't make a mockery. That's what's happening. This is our cringe moment. It's pretty cringe. It is pretty cringe. Also, would-be Trump assassin Thomas Crooks may have had an accomplice. Data shows, as investigators say, FBI is suppressing info. Man, there's a lot of work to be done. LOL, Jeremy doesn't like the truth, dude, says Jim J. Yes, I'm very much like, I'm so scared of the truth. I'm so scared of criticizing Trump. I'm so scared of criticizing what you think I should criticize. See, that's the mentality. It's like the anti-Grums people when they come to me, and most of them have hated me for years anyway. Like, if you want to be taken seriously, and if you think that like I'm the person that should be speaking your message, you maybe shouldn't talk shit to me if you think I'm such a valuable asset to call out whatever you think I should be calling out. The moment you start talking shit and crying about me, the more I'm just going to ignore whatever you're crying about. That's how I'm programmed. You know, just like yesterday, I had some guy that was like begging me to call out Grums. And I'm like, why? Because you want me to? Like, why should I do what you want me to do when you have talked, like the people that have made videos about Grums have literally trashed the Geeks and Gamers audience for years. And in fact, I've even had one time I was on a Discord call with one of these anti-Grums guys, and they secretly recorded my Discord call with them trying to get something on me. I found out after the fact that they recorded our Discord call. I'm not dumb enough to say something in private that I don't want public. But that whole thing was they were trying to get something on me in a private Discord call so that they could release it and expose me. This is the Grums derangement syndrome crowd right here. It's like, I don't say anything in private that I wouldn't say in public. I'm not stupid. The internet's the internet. I'm going to say whatever I'm going to say, whether it's privately or publicly. Three Mate says, how did Liz Wheeler get a copy at the White House? She's a nobody. I know. Wild Man's, that's illegal. It depends on what state they were in. It depends on what state they were in. There are certain states that are single party consent states. Wild Man says, House GOP Twitter posted a joke instead of the release on Twitter. Gerald Armstrong says, I'm surprised Cat Turd wasn't there. Doc No 27 says the same people who mocked the left for Romney and Binders full on women now pull this. Wild Man says House GOP judiciary. I can't even say that fucking word on X. Grover Pearson says same thing. Did the Rick roll? They did a Rick roll? No, they did not. No, they did not. There's no way. Where's it at? They didn't do that. There's no way they did that. Let's see. I'm looking it up now. They did. Did they delete it? Because I'm seeing people screenshot it. Hang on. Right here, they put a troll link. No way. No. No. What? I'm looking to see. I'm scrolling the timeline now. Yeah, I don't actually see that. So I don't know if they deleted it or what. What is happening? This is crazy. All right, I'm doing some research right now to see if I can find it. So give me a minute. That is wild. They're making a joke of this, man. Yep, here it is. Here it is. Holy shit. People need to be fired. Wow. Draven says, can't wait till the list drops, but did you see, let's see, is it Gilded? What? No. I don't even know what the fuck you're trying to say right there. Adrian says, weren't there legit victims of Jeffrey Epstein? This photo op of influencers holding info of their abusers and smiling is horrible tactics. I agree. The Meep Kid says, no wonder Jeremy is gay. He values his assets. Two Penny Puppet says, yes, they've been dead a couple of weeks. I'm convinced this story was intentionally dropped this morning to compete with the list. Potentially. Jared Armstrong says, shit like this will ensure their defeat in 2026. Jeez. This is where we are, though. Absolute disaster. So I guess we're just going to hang on. I just saw a tweet. You know how Twitter, you go on Twitter and then you see a tweet and then it refreshes and it disappears? Trump was asked about the Tate brothers.
Trump, Andrew and Tristan Tate landed in Florida today on a private jet after being released from custody in Romania. They are accused rapists, human traffickers, not thought of as good people in many circles. Did your administration pressure the Romanian government to release them? And if so,
I
why?
know nothing about that. I don't know. You're saying he's on a plane right now?
He's back. They already.
Yeah, I just know nothing about it. We'll check it out. We'll let you know.
Did your administration pressure the government?
We'll let you know.
I don't. Is that a story that's out there? Are people trying to say that? Are people trying to say that the Trump administration like got involved with that? I don't buy that. Let's see here. All right, let's watch Luke's video really quick here.
Could it come soon enough as millions of people are
Barely
waiting
hear
for
you,
actual
Luke.
transparency and answers about the Jeffrey Epstein saga as the Attorney General just talked about how there's an active cover-up happening right now that we have some interesting dots to connect with, as a lot of people are sharing clips like this of people in Hollywood and Washington, D.C. right now.
People, let's move. Let's go, 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 go.
Yep, as the panic is real, but has the cover-up already worked here? As a couple of moments ago, we got images and video clips like this showing a lot of alternative media influencers like DC Drano, Libs of TikTok, Mike Cernovich, LAX, and many others with the official first batch, phase 1 of the Epstein files that in the making of this video have not been released, as a lot of people here feel teased. Okay, we get it. There's some marketing here, but there's also the larger severity of this situation, as now larger questions arise. What in the world is going on here? Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna just said that she has not received the document that her task force is tasked with releasing. Clearly, there isn't any kind of love between the two, and it looks like there is some larger discontent between the Attorney General's office and this larger disclosure task force, as now Pam Bondi has officially released a letter saying that the FBI is withholding Epstein documents from her. Yes, you heard that correctly. She is saying by 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 26th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office. Why haven't they done that in the beginning? As this is the official letter to Kash Patel, the director of the FBI. As we told you, hey, there's a reason they postponed his appointment here, as there's a big conspiracy here unfolding that's about to be uncovered that could unravel the true big power structures all within Washington, D.C. Now, you kind of got to ask yourself, why didn't the Southern District of New York, why didn't the New York City FBI office comply and release these documents, as of course they were compelled to do so by executive order and decree? Well, it was James Comey's own daughter that was the lead prosecutor in the Ghislaine Maxwell case.
And all of this makes sense. Like all of this, I get the complication with the corrupt deep state and all these people that were covering stuff up. None of this is my problem. The slow process of getting these files released, not my problem. None of this is my problem. My problem is the ridiculous photo op. My problem is that Pam Bondi said, oh, yeah, we're going to release some of this information tomorrow, but you don't even have the information to release based on what you're saying. You don't even have it. So you're doing the phase 1 rollout bullshit. This is so dumb.
If you look at the New York City Southern District Court of New York, there's a lot of high-level corruption. They're the ones that have facilitated the larger cover-up here. And this larger prosecution of Ghislaine Maxwell was largely prosecuting her for crimes that she allegedly procured to non-existent customers. How is that possible? How does that make sense here? And learning that there's a James Comey connection here makes a lot of people understand why there hasn't been any kind of a larger participation here. As Mike Cernovich, one of the people who was just there at the White House, who has his hands on the first list of documents, just said, yes, I can confirm this. Attorney General Pam Bondi released what she had in her possession for the sake of transparency. So again, our voices here mattered. I told you guys here, hey, speak up, make sure you do it in a respectful way, but do it in a persistent way where we clearly stay on mission here. This is one of the most important things that we could achieve here, that we need to do here, that we need to get done before it's too late, as there's a lot of lives at stake here. There's a lot of victims here, and there's a criminal enterprise, a mafioso group of thugs out there that have no moral code, that were running previously a government-run extortion operation. These people aren't the best of people. These people are dangerous, and the more we wait, the more we don't release these documents, the more of these people are able to get their ducks in a row, the more they're able to destroy documents. We heard rumors of them destroying the documents, and there's a big possibility here that the Southern District of New York and the FBI New York City field office already destroyed these documents. There's a larger potential of that happening here. As Mike Cernovich says, unfortunately, bad actors at the SDNY and the FBI New York City field office withheld documents. Automatically, criminal cover-up happening here. With this larger criminal cover-up, there should be some charges here automatically. I hope Kash.
So I see right here the link to it has been community noted. So it is still up. It is still up. Let me refresh. Yeah, so community noted, and I responded, this is a disaster. Stop treating this like a fucking Netflix show. And this is, oh, now it's gone. It just went away. Okay, there it is. Yeah, it went away. You see that? The community note went away. So there's no more community note. Jeez. What a disaster this whole thing is.
Patel, who has promised to release the Epstein files day one. I hope he gets on this because this is of key, utmost importance. As we had Trump's lawyer recently on Piers Morgan announced that she absolutely expects criminal charges to come from all of this. And who will be charged here? Will it be the people who are covering this all up, or will it be the larger participants of this larger criminal child trafficking conspiracy that unfolded with your tax dollars? Again, I've been waiting for this story for so freaking long. We're so close, and we are still scratching at the surface here. We're still not getting the full picture, the full perspective here. There's flight logs. There's the ditching of Secret Service. There's the criminal prosecution cases of Maxwell, of Epstein. There is allegedly video footage of inside the jail cell of Mr. Epstein that the former Attorney General, Bill Barr, had, that he allegedly saw. As, of course, Trump's previous administration was working to undermine Trump. Trump's previous DOJ was going to Epstein saying, give us info, give us Donald Trump, and we will give you another sweetheart deal of a lifetime, just like they did in Florida. A lot of people are now sharing the old Florida cases all the way back in 2007, specifically regarding his sweetheart deal of a lifetime. And again, we've been on top of this case for so freaking long. Originally, when I saw these photos,
I think I got the context to the Trump thing. So right here, I think this is what it was. That's enough. Trump just shuts down a reporter who was trying to divide him and the British Prime Minister on Canada right here.
We had a really good discussion, a productive discussion, a good discussion, as a result of which our teams are now going to be working together on an economic deal. Our teams are going to be working together on security in Ukraine. You mentioned Canada. I think you're trying to find a divide between us that doesn't exist. We're the closest of nations, and we had very good discussions today, but we didn't
That's
discuss
enough.
Canada.
Thank you.
We had a really good...
So that's why he was saying that's enough. All right, that makes perfect sense right there. Okay, so the update for everybody, if you're tuning in, is that today has been a pretty big disaster for Team Trump, in my opinion, because of all of the optics involved with the releasing of the Epstein files. And it's really turned into what comes off as a very bad photo op for a bunch of influencers. So a bunch of influencers were at the White House today. They got to show off these binders that says the Epstein files phase 1. Once this was released, a lot of people started questioning, wait, what's going on? Why are you guys able to get this? And do we get this information? There's been reports that these binders are completely empty, and this is all for a photo shoot. So you had Anna Paulina Luna respond and say, I nor the task force were given or reviewed the Epstein documents being released today. A New York Post story just revealed that the documents will simply be Epstein's phone book. This is not what we or the American people asked for, and it's a complete disappointment. Give us the information we have asked for. That is from Anna Paulina Luna. So everybody, then you had this, which the GOP just trolls everybody with this right here. You click the link, okay? You click the link, and you click this, and it's a Rickroll. So they're Rickrolling you right now. With this post, they're Rickrolling you. What are we doing? This is insanity. I can't wrap my head around how disastrous this is. So yes, it is a total disaster for the Trump administration right now. It's a total disaster. And I don't know if it's going to get corrected. I mean, you've also got Pam Bondi putting a letter out basically to Kash Patel saying that the FBI has been suppressing a lot of the information that she's been asking for. And that's a fair point. But the optics of everything else that has been playing out is not good. Holy crap. Disaster. Disaster, to say the least. Let's see. I got that one. That one. I'm trying to catch up real quick. Benjamin says Jim Jordan, who posted that tweet. John Papa Sergio says, like I said, everything's a meme. Terrible. Hey, May, do you think Barron pushed for influencers? Also, what are your thoughts on the upcoming G.I. Joe Ever Vigilant? You excited or terrified? I haven't heard that particular. I've got a bunch of the comics from the current comic run. I'm still trying to catch up on those. I love the Cobra Commander run. But I don't know what this is, this new G.I. Joe. So I don't know what they're doing. Like the game that just came out, the 2D side scroller game that came out last year was a very big disappointment. Not that it was it was fine. It just was very generic. I know that they teased the G.I. Joe in the latest Transformers movie that I tried to watch and just couldn't get through it. The latest Transformers movie. So I'll have to see. I'm spending way too much money on classified action figures right now. JT says, I've stopped playing video games online 10 years ago and I've just been resting. I've been missing the grind. No, not even reading that. Cliffix, what's up, Cliff? I'm certain that 90% of the most critical material has already been shredded. The deep state will protect itself at all costs. It's almost all gone. Hopefully not, but you're probably right. Eric K says, I, for one, can get behind Anna Paulina Luna. Couldn't we all? Packing Proton says, theory, could this be the deep state making Trump look bad, or maybe a bad idea campaign to make the mainstream media look bad but backfiring? I don't think so. Until I'm told more, I've got to put no. I mean, this is 100% on the Trump administration. This is at the White House. DC Drano said he sat in the Oval Office with President Trump and JD Vance. So no, I can't give them any leeway or anything. I can't do it. So with that said, we're going to call it a day. If there's more information, I will go live again tonight and we'll cover it. But I don't think we're going to get more information today, unfortunately. This is a disaster. As it stands right now for the Trump administration, this is not good. Not good at all. So if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter, and I will continue to talk about it over there as I have most of the day. I'll keep calling it out because it needs to be called out. And that's just the truth of the matter. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. To all the people that say that I blindly support Trump and never criticize him, I'm sorry. This is a bad day for you. But the reality of it is this is not the first time I've criticized Trump or his team, and it's not the last time. That doesn't change the fact that I'm a massive Trump supporter. I 100% stand by President Trump and Team Trump, but that doesn't mean I have to follow everything that they do and praise them for everything they do. They have made a huge mistake right now, and I hope they correct it. Time will tell. But other than that, you guys have a great day, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone. If I can find my ending screen. Bye, everyone.